Hey everyone, Buddha here, gonna bring you this second game of a best of 3 series from the third round of the Gamecom Open tournament. Wow, that's a lot to say. I did screw it up just before, and this is gonna be a rematch from iwinGDI versus Scipio. iwinGDI is our hero player. He is the person who sent me the replays, so I am casting these on demand, and lots of hearts to iwinGDI for sending me these replays. His opponent Scipio is actually a Masters player, so we are going to see a Diamond versus Masters game, one of the highest matchups we have casted up to date. And after this, we are actually going to be casting a pro replay from the tournament. It is going to feature sorry, Six Jacks Vibe versus Vile Hawk, so definitely look for that. And in this, again, very macro-oriented map, this is loser's pick, by the way, so iwinGDI did pick this map. It is a terminus very large map, and again, this is gonna most likely come down to a position war as it did last game. Last game, Scipio actually decided to go for a second factory and go mass Hellions instead of those Marines. It worked out so well for him because instead of getting medevacs from that reactor starport, he was able to get Vikings and get that positional advantage. Every single time there was an engagement, those tanks just shot further than his opponents, and those Hellions worked so well against the Marines. iwinGDI was actually very Marine heavy instead of Marauder heavy, and that cost him the game. Every time he would engage, he would lose a tiny bit more than his opponent, and eventually Scipio just got the best of him and plowed through his main base. And we actually saw last game the exact same build by these two players until maybe the 4 or 5 minute marks. It was timed so well. These two players were doing the exact same build at the exact same time. It was kind of cool. And hey Juggernaut, by the way, he just tuned in. And by the way, if you guys are watching this on YouTube, I am casting these live on my Justin TV account. That's it's always nice to have live viewers, so follow me on Justin TV if you want to get notified when I do come online. I am just waiting for the patch, the server to come back up, and while I'm waiting, we are casting games. And still very similar builds by these two players. A tech lab going up on the factory for Scipio, and a starport going up, and for his opponent we actually see the exact same build, except this time he is a tiny bit later than the last game. Last game you could actually see these two starports finishing at the exact same time, as well as a tech lab, so we will give again a ever so slight advantage to Scipio. You can actually see 26 to 24 supply just because his build is just a tiny bit smoother. And you can actually see that, surprisingly, iwinGDI has barely a 1 worker advantage, and he is getting his command center ever so slightly before his opponent, so that is where he's going to come get his own advantage. He is going to get that second base up and running just a bit further before his opponent. Meanwhile, Scipio is getting once again Blue Flame Hellions. He might do a drop as he did last time and try and pick off a few workers. Last game it only picked off about 2 or 3 workers. iwinGDI mixing things up a bit and getting a Banshee here. I love this play, although I would prefer seeing some Hellions from that factory if he is going to go for that Banshee play along with Blue Flame, as his opponent is. Fortunately, he does have the gas for that, so might we actually be seeing Cloak here? First Banshee gonna come out, still no Cloak. He does have a lot of gas saved up and a lot of minerals. I wonder what he's gonna do from this point on, how he's actually gonna transition. This factory still not building anything. I wonder if he's actually gonna build an add-on. He could have started this add-on. I feel this is just a little blunder here, because if he is gonna want tanks, if he does want tanks from that, he could have actually had that start. He is gonna swamp it, so he could have actually had a reactor already done for the starport. First Banshee gonna come up to Scipio's base and do some damage. He is gonna stop Banshee production at this point. Meanwhile, he is gonna get his second base, and Scipio not opting to get a second base just yet. He is producing quite an army here. One Viking gonna fly out across the map. First drop gonna come to the main base of iwinGDI's. He still doesn't know about this, so this could do huge damage. Remember, these Hellions do have blue flames, so we will see a few worker kills, 3 kills already. 6 kill, doing a lot of damage here. Scipio does get the advantage very early on here, and the Banshee meanwhile in the main base getting a few kills of its own. 3 kills on that Banshee, but 14 Harvester kills for Scipio. This Hellion drop did huge damage, and these SCVs are all cornered here. They will all die. Only 6 Harvesters left from iwinGDI, 4 Harvesters left. 2 Harvesters left, and that will be game. Expect the GG here, because there is no way he's coming back unless this Banshee that died does a lot more damage, and there is only a single Harvester left for iwinGDI. He does have that double mule going, but you have to expect an expansion from Scipio, and there it is. It's almost done. And iwinGDI in the world of hurt right now. Look at that income tab. He has 0 income. Where is his only Harvester? There it is. And he will start making SCVs again, but I mean, at this point he is so far behind. I don't see him winning this, so we will go forward just a bit. And unfortunately, iwinGDI doesn't look like he's going to go through this tournament. It was a pleasure casting your games, but Scipio is gonna... He knows about it, though. He says that's game pretty much. Scipio, if you do watch these games, I would love to get your replays for the further rounds. I'd love to see your progression through the tournament. And iwinGDI was great casting you. Unfortunately, this is where it stops, I think. Round 3 was a great run for you. Another drop making its way into the main base, getting thwarted away though. iwinGDI very well ready for this. And right after this, guys, we will be casting the pro games from this tournament, and I can't wait for this. It was going to be a best of 3 series once again. We can actually see quite a bit of money coming up for iwinGDI. He is actually catching up quite a bit here. Only 30 Harvesters from Scipio. It is very surprising. If he would have produced SCVs non-stop through this game, I think he could have been at about 40 Harvesters. I do think he cut SCV production at one point just to get that drop out a bit faster, and now getting a 3rd base, he is just going to get so much more ahead in this game. He is producing that right now 2 more factories to just mass up those tanks and Hellions. He is getting his armory behind this, so we might even be seeing Thors. Meanwhile, iwinGDI just getting the standard combat shields, and I don't think that a standard play will win him this game at this point. He needs to drop, he needs to double expand or something. He is going to drop the 3rd base here, but there is only 1 SCV that actually manages to get out of here, so not doing that much damage. This Viking will be able to intercept this medevac, and this will just be another blow to iwinGDI's supply. You can actually see 81 to 58 supply, and now Scipio is just going to move out with this Hellion tank push. Only 4 tanks and a handful of Marines. These Marines will be very vulnerable to the Hellions. Remember, Scipio could just sack these Hellions right in front, just throw them away to kill off these Marines, and after that the tanks will be able to take care of the rest of the tanks and just move up in the main base. Cloak coming from iwinGDI. This might be able to buy him sometime, but with those Vikings and 3 orbital commands, I mean, Scipio will have a lot. He will have a lot of scans throughout this push, so I don't even think that Cloak will be a lot. I don't think they will be very useful here. And now it's just going to be a positional advantage here with that Viking spotting forward here. 1 tank trying to shell away at the tanks on the low ground. But Scipio could just position these tanks right on the edge here and actually kill iwinGDI's tanks without taking any damage. There he goes. He is actually going to follow this Words of Wisdom's nice scan from iwinGDI. Going to be able to actually start picking away at these tanks, but there are just too many forces from Scipio. he will be able to push into the main base here, and this will be game. Expect GG anytime soon from iwinGDI. And thanks for tuning in, guys. Remember, I am casting these live at the same time on my Justin TV account, so don't hesitate to follow me there. It's JustinTV/BootWizard. It's always nice to have live viewers. And actually trying to push in 3 tanks against only 2 tanks. With SCV repairs, he will be able to actually thwart this away. But look at those reinforcements coming from Scipio. It's 105 274 supply. These tanks might... I'm surprised he didn't scan here to pick off that Banshee. There it is. Descan. That Banshee will actually get away, but another one here. With 3 orbital commands, it actually dies there. It ran out of energy. And these tanks are actually going to start shelling away. He will probably elevator the tanks to the high ground here, and there won't be much that iwinGDI can do at this point. And he is swapping the barracks. He is actually moving it further behind so that it doesn't get shelled by the tanks. These Hellions are going to get elevated in the main base and actually going to run into the mineral line, do even more damage. So look at that harvester kill count. It is now 36 harvesters killed by Scipio. That is just something that you cannot recover from. It just glitched a bit there, and I don't know if you guys actually caught that. Against 11 harvesters killed, it is now 41 to 26 harvesters, 120 to only 72 supply. So we will once again forward through this game and wait for the GG. I would love if iwinGDI could actually pull a miracle comeback here, but I doubt it will happen. It is now 3 bases. 3 bases. It has been for quite some time now, and Scipio will actually just move forward, siege up, and kill the rest of the army. You can actually see all those Marines dying so fast there. This this command center will be forced to actually move up. 4 Banshees will try and pick off these tanks, but with that scan, and I do think that there are more scans saved up by Scipio, he should scan this and pick off the rest of the Banshees. One does go down. The second one will go down. Only 1 tank remaining here. This orbital command trying to get repaired actually, but these Vikings could just land, pick off these SCVs, and finish off. 2 Thors actually joining the battle. A scan will take off the rest of these Banshees, and there it is, GG. And tune in, guys, for the rest of these casts later on.